Okay, so we had obviously a horrific accident that occurred last year on March 2nd. To recall, the nature of the accident was it was a one-car motor vehicle accident that struck a tree on Warner Road in the town of Lancaster at about 11:32 p.m. The vehicle allegedly was going northbound down Warner Road, and the driver lost control of the vehicle. The vehicle kind of spun around, and the back of the vehicle allegedly hit the tree. It was a 2007 Infiniti 235 sedan. And this particular model of Infiniti car had the gas tank in the back of the car, in the rear portion of the vehicle. So when the car allegedly spun out of control and hit the tree, the back of the car hit the tree, it ignited the gas tank. There were three individuals that were in the car. The driver was a 20-year-old, well, now he's 20, maybe 19 last year, I'm not sure, but he's now a 20-year-old Ryan Stencil, who was a driver of this vehicle, which was his vehicle. There was a front seat passenger, Molly Kaminsky, and a back seat passenger, Mackenzie Mysek, both 19 years old. From all indications, first of all, the car was just tremendously burnt beyond all recognition. The Molly, who was sitting in the front seat, the seatbelt portion burned, but the end piece of the seatbelt was still in the latch there. So by all indications, Molly had her seatbelt on. We cannot tell if Mackenzie had her seatbelt on because, like I said, the car was just so burnt. But Mackenzie was in the back seat. Ryan was friends with both of these young women. Ryan was at Molly's house earlier that evening. Ryan and Molly were waiting for Mackenzie to get off of work that night. Mackenzie apparently worked at some kind of a tanning salon place or tanning bed place. And Mackenzie, they were waiting for her to get off of work. Mackenzie got off of work and then drove her car to Molly's house and left her car at Molly's house. And then the three of them got into Ryan's vehicle and were going to another friend's house in Gettsville. That's why they were driving northbound on Warren Road. And as this got a lot of coverage, obviously, last March, as we all know, the defendant, now Ryan, was able to get out of the vehicle and save himself. And unfortunately, the two girls perished in the motor vehicle. The cause of death was blunt force trauma from the initial accident of hitting the tree itself, along with thermal injuries, which in layman's terms, they were burnt. But both factors contributed to the cause of their death. Ryan Stencil has been the investigation that we did over the course of the past almost year now, 11 months, led to a grand jury investigation, and the grand jury indicted Mr. Stencil on two counts of criminally negligent homicide. The two counts were for the two young women here. So he's facing 2 counts of criminally negligent homicide. It is considered all one criminal transaction, though. So the max punishment of 4 years remains in effect. It would not be 8 years because there's 2 bodies, because under the law this is one criminal transaction. So the max sentence is 4 years on this matter. The theory, the legal theory of criminally negligent homicide was that his conduct, allegedly, his conduct being in this case the driving, was negligent. And his negligent driving caused the death of 2 individuals. I am not going to get into specifics about what was actually negligent, because I'm not going to try my case right now. I will try that in court. I will say though, just take it out of this case right here, and let's just go to pretend we're in law school. Factors in a law school hypothetical for someone driving negligently and killing someone would be, speeding, road conditions, how you're driving, down a street, just kind of in general, the lighting of the street, the weather conditions, the terrain of the street, whether it's a hilly or windy curves, and I could probably think of a few more, but you get the drift of those are the kind of factors that one would consider if they are analyzing whether someone is driving negligently in a hypothetical case. Again, I'm not saying that those factors are here at all. I'm just giving the viewers some hypotheticals here that they can analyze themselves. Obviously, Mr. Stencil is innocent until proven guilty. These are just allegations. And I am just happy that we were able to, investigate this matter and get to the point where we were able to put it in a grand jury. And we were able to get an indictment here so that we can give these 2 families some justice for what happened to their loved ones. Why did it take 11 months? This is a complicated matter in the sense that our main piece of physical evidence, which is the car, was burnt and burnt to a crisp. And so, that presented some logistical and investigative challenges. I can tell you that we also had to hire a crash reconstruction expert. And so we went outside the box here and got an outside consultant who was a crash reconstruction expert, and that took some time as well. And so, again, you got 3 individuals involved. 2 of them, unfortunately, are passed away, and then the only other individual involved is the target and the suspect. So, obviously, he has a right to remain silent, and I'm not saying he did remain. I'm not commenting on whether he talked or didn't talk, but obviously, he has a right to remain silent, and so you have to respect that, obviously, when you're investigating these matters. So this took a while, but we were dogged in our determination to bring these families justice, and I will remain dogged to continue on with this prosecution to give the families their justice for the loss of their loved one.
Is he the son of a fire chief?
I don't know that. I don't know.
Did he have any connections to somebody in the fire department?
No one's made me aware of that at all. Could be, but no one's ever told me that.
Do you know if there was any interference with the investigation?
None. No.
What was the toxicology report on?
I can't comment on that. Yeah, I can't comment on that. I can't comment on that when it pertains to him.
Yeah.
I can tell you that there was that the toxicology report was negative for the 2 girls.
Can you detail a little bit the bail? He's being held by Erie County Sheriff's
Yeah,
Office
so-
until bail is set, but can you detail that a little bit?
Well, yeah, the judge set bail. We asked for remand. Which, I don't know, some people may view a little harsh. I mean, because the fact that, this Mr. Stencil, he was friends with these girls. He knew these girls. He didn't obviously intend to kill these girls. So I have obviously, I factor that in, but at the end of the day, I have two 19-year-old girls who are not going to see their 20th birthday, and so that's the bottom line here. So that's why I asked for the remand. But the judge gave him $50,000 cash bail, a $150,000 bond, which means he can come up with $15,000, 10% of that, and get out. And then I assume he must own property because the judge put a $500,000 property bail on him as well. I don't know if he owns property, but for the judge to do that, I assume he does. So he put $500,000 bail on the property if he chooses to use that. But he was led away in handcuffs this afternoon, and so we'll see if he makes bail.
So he's led away in handcuffs this afternoon, he could possibly get out
Yes.
anytime soon.
Yeah.
But this happened last March.
Uh-huh.
He didn't flee the scene, you knew who it was, and why did it take so long? 'Cause
It's a complicated investigation. It's a lot of cars damage, cars damages. You have reconstructing what happened here. It's not overnight. You got to reconstruct how this accident happened, how the car caught on fire, what the conditions of the road were. And again, I'm not saying that there are witnesses. I'm not going to confirm or deny that, but obviously, in just a hypothetical case, some witnesses come forward sooner rather than later.
but it took almost a year.
It took almost a year, yeah.
And
And the
once it-
defendant, sorry.
Yeah.
The defendant has been free this entire time.
Oh, yeah, he was there. He was never arrested. We were, again, at first, we were unsure whether or not we were gonna have any evidence to arrest him on. So there was clearly no evidence to arrest him at the scene. And even a few months afterward, there was still no evidence to arrest him. And so it's, again, I could have arrested him, I put the case in the grand jury a few weeks ago, so yeah, I could have arrested him a month ago. But, when a case goes, over 6 months, months and months and months, it's my MO to just put in the grand jury. So I did that.
Do you know that after this happened, there was talk in Lancaster that there was possibly interference with this investigation?
I've never heard that, no. My people may heard that, but they never briefed me on that. Yeah, and I can tell you, there's nothing to, I have not been found anything to back that up at all.
Sadly, with certain cases like this, obviously, we've had other incidences where negligent driving was a huge factor in these sad incidences.
Mhm.
Is this, I don't wanna say this is necessarily, is this setting an example, but is this something that, you could kinda look to as just like, hey, if any matters like this going forward happen where someone's negligently driving and it causes the death of somebody else, that this is kind of what can happen?
Sure, but you have to separate negligence from a criminal standard and a civil standard, all right? They are two totally different things, and we're more in tune to all the Barnes commercials and Celino commercials and Matar commercials where you talk about negligent driving and negligent accidents. Okay, that is not my standard. All right, for me to have to go into a criminal court of law and prove beyond a reasonable doubt, it has to be criminal negligence. So what that means basically is that the factors that and the facts of what happened here have to rise to that high level of bar again. So going back to my law school hypothetical, was there excessive speed? Yeah, you're negligent going 35 and a 30, all right, or 40 and a 30, all right, but is 5-10 miles an hour criminally negligent, all right, where 50 miles an hour over the speed limit is, just as a hypothetical, all right. So you got the amount of speed over the speed limit is a factor. Certainly the road conditions and the overall weather conditions, all right? How bad were they, all right? If it's a blizzard out that happened over Christmas weekend and someone's driving 40 miles an hour down Main Street, all right? Well, that's pretty darn negligent, okay? Almost criminally negligent. So, all the different hypothetical factors that I laid out, okay, those are the things that I determine and whether or not to file criminal charges. So it's always going to be on a case-by-case basis. But the bottom line answer to your question, okay, is this what could happen if all those factors are potentially there? Absolutely.
In terms of pursuing charges, did you take into account the victim's family's wishes at all, if they wanted to see charges, or
Oh, yeah.
for you was
well-
you feel you had to press charges?
Well, no, I mean, it's in here. I mean, I always take into account what families of the victim want, all right? But if someone commits a crime, okay, and I believe that I have enough evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law that a crime has been committed, I'm going to do that no matter what. The family's telling me, the family's telling me, if the family told me that, hey, we don't want him charged at all right, I would still do it anyway, okay? I'm not saying I said that. I'm not going to say what my conversation with the family, but I'd probably still do it anyway, all right? So the conversation with the family more go toward what I do with the charges, any kind of plea or something like that. So the family comes to me and says, hey, all right, we don't want him to go to jail for 4 years, all right, we're okay if he just learns his lesson here some other way, then I'll factor that in, all right? So I tend to have deeper conversation with the family at the end of the game than I do at the beginning of the game. Again, that's just my MO.
Was there any further relation than other than just friends?
No,
between-
it's friends, yeah.
Friends.
Any idea where they were going or where they were coming
Going
from?
to- Yeah, they're coming from Molly's house.
Okay.
They were at Molly's house, and they're going to another friend's house. Yeah, up in Gettsville.
So he faces up to 4 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
And then when is he due back in court?
Oh, yeah. So the judge today was just the special term judge. It's got to be assigned to a permanent judge. So it'll be assigned to a permanent judge, and then that judge will schedule a next date. Okay. All right.
As always.
All right.
Hey, John.
Thank you.